What if you could meet your soulmate, your absolute perfect match, and all you need, with a strand of your hair? The Netflix original series, The One, technology simplifies the hunt for true love and finding the one through DNA matching. But it isn't as easy as hair and DNA. As long as love is involved, it is bound to get more complicated. This video gives a recap of Season 1 and explains some tricky parts of the show. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. In Netflix's The One, relationship drama meets murder mystery as technology emerges as a way to find true and perfect love. In one episode, we meet Rebecca Webb, Hannah Ware, the founder and CEO of The One. The company has made 10 million successful matches between partners. As Rebecca is giving a TED-like speech, she introduces Ethan, Wilf Scolding, her match, and they share a steamy kiss to prove the validity of the match and are met with thunderous applause of the crowd. But CEO Rebecca is met with opposition when a politician wants to regulate commercial DNA use. Rebecca threatens to give this politician's daughter a bad match and solves the issue for now. But there's also Damien, an investor in The One, who wants Rebecca removed as CEO as he perceives her as reckless. He obviously has a plan to bring Rebecca down, but we don't know why yet. Then we're introduced to Hannah, Louise Chimimba, and Mark, Eric Kofi Abrefa, a married couple who fell in love without the help of science. Mark is a reporter writing about Rebecca and The One, which he refers to as a cult. But Hannah is uncertain. She feels insecure that there might be someone out there for her husband who is the perfect match and he will one day leave her for that match. So we see her sending out hair to The One so she could get matched. Next comes Kate, Zoe Tapper, the detective who investigates the case of Rebecca's former flatmate Ben, Amir El-Masri, and who had been missing for a year, only for his body to be found in a river. Kate is matched with Sophia, and they quickly fall in love. When they meet up, it seems Sophia stood Kate up until she calls to find out Sophia was in an accident. Kate rushes to the hospital to find that Sophia has a traumatic brain injury. And there's James, Dimitri Leonidas, Rebecca's former lab partner. They both have something to do with Ben's death, but we don't know what yet. We find out that Hannah actually sent out Mark's hair for testing and not hers, because she couldn't stand the idea that he might have a match and she wanted to meet her. Mark's match is Megan, and they meet up for coffee. Back to Kate and her brain injury lover, she goes back to the hospital and finds out that Sophia actually has a wife who is sitting right beside her. Shocking. Then we learn something more shocking in the second episode. Ethan is not Rebecca's match. We find out that she and James started DNA matching by going behind Ben's back and using his laptop to steal DNA from a database. Rebecca was actually matched with Mateus Albano Geronimo, a surf instructor and bartender whom she has a thing for. But what happened? In the next episode, we're taken to Spain, where Rebecca and Mateus are madly in love. She's assured of this love and her formula for DNA matching, but she is torn between staying with the love of her life in Spain and going back to London to make loads of money. She asks Mateus to move to London with her, and he says he can't leave his younger brother Fabio, Miguel Amarin, who is struggling to get his life together, so she recommends that Fabio comes along. However, Fabio doesn't want to leave and doesn't understand why Mateus would want to leave their beautiful town for London. Rebecca goes back angry and positive that if she told Mateus about the DNA program, he would have chosen her. James texts Rebecca a picture of the bloody shirt he kept from the night Ben died, a shirt she wore, and she goes to his house with her bodyguard, Connor, dear maid Mutag, to ransack the place. James comes home and refuses to give up the shirt's location. So Rebecca tells Connor to shoot James in the knee as a warning, but Connor refuses. Kate, the detective, learns that Sophia has cheated on her wife multiple times and has a brother despite saying she had no family. Things get dicey with the married couple as Hannah's birthday is coming up, and Mark sneaks into her phone to invite her new friend Megan to her surprise party, who, unknowingly to him, is his match. When they meet, they inevitably share a connection and Hannah gets scared. So she tells Mark Megan is gay, and she hit on her, so it'd be weird if they stayed friends. In another one of many flashbacks, we're taken to 12 months ago. The One has launched and made 1 million matches, but Ben is being fired from his job for a security breach on his laptop due to Rebecca accessing the NHS database to steal DNA to start The One. James feels horrible and wants to tell Ben, but Rebecca is ready to ruin his life to keep herself out of jail. Ben's family holds a funeral now that his body has been discovered, and Kate tells Ben's sister about how Rebecca was Ben's last contact and is now evading questioning. Ben's sister confronts Rebecca, who doesn't take this lightly and sends a sex tape of Kate and her first boyfriend to her family and co-workers as revenge. Now, Mark finds out Megan isn't gay and confronts Hannah for lying to him. She tells him the truth and he is livid, because they were fine before, and she also lied to him. So many problems just because of a strand of hair. Fabio, remember him? Mateus's brother, who didn't want to leave Spain, is now in London calling Rebecca to blackmail her, claiming he knows about the night Ben died. Rebecca immediately gives him the 2 million euros he asked for to satiate him, and is assured he will be headed back to Spain soon. But the next day, Fabio overdoses in his flat, and when Rebecca shows up with her bodyguard, Connor, she decides to leave him to die. Mateus comes to Rebecca looking for Fabio, and they reconnect and make love. Things are going well for Kate as she's eccentric when Sophia wakes up. Along with her partner Nick, they investigate the site of the One's 1 millionth match party and think they've uncovered the mystery surrounding Ben. As Damien is plotting Rebecca's downfall, he goes to see James to secure his vote as a shareholder to oust Rebecca as CEO. But then, Nick shows up at James's house and arrests him for Ben's murder. James appeals his innocence, blaming Rebecca instead and says he can prove it. He shows Nick the bloody shirt, but surprise, Nick turns the shirt over to Rebecca and Connor, who paid him to execute this trick. Kate and Sophia's relationship isn't going so well, with Kate trying to find out things about Sophia, who is quite secretive. While having dinner with Sophia's brother Sebastian, Eduardo Lloveras, he kisses her, saying he's never felt so drawn to someone as he does with her. And this is because siblings share about 50% of DNA. With James losing his leverage on Rebecca as the bloody shirt is gone, he decides to use his vote on the board to keep her as CEO, damaging Damien's plan. Rebecca goes ahead to find James's match, a Somalian refugee with a 3-year-old daughter whom she brings to London, saying to James, "I just want you to be happy." While Mark is confused about what to do with Megan and Hannah, Hannah is torn between science and feelings, so she stays with her mother to give him space. Yet another person who wants Rebecca's downfall is David, Paul Brennan, who holds a match made in hell placard because he's against the One for ruining his family. Damien, who is eager to see Rebecca's downfall because she leaked to the media that he pays for sex, tells Kate that Rebecca was matched before the company launched. Mark decides he's ready to forgive Hannah and completely commit to their marriage. After getting tested for cancer and getting negative results, he realizes he only wants Hannah beside him. He meets with Megan to break things off, and they end up having sex in a restaurant bathroom. Corrupt officer Nick gets a baby and goes on paternal leave, so he's not working on the investigation. That's good, right? Kate figures out Rebecca's secret when she sees Rebecca and Ethan put on a show of true love during a gala and immediately change off stage. She figures it all out with Mateus. In the season finale, Rebecca decides that she is bringing the One public, and once the IPO, initial public offering, is complete, she will step down as CEO, donate money to the medical research lab she is running, and spend the rest of her life quietly living with her true love. The big reveal shows us that after Rebecca pushed Ben off the roof, he was still breathing, but she finished him off. Maybe that was the start of her villainy. In an attempt to be honest, Rebecca tells Mateus about Ben. Unknown to her, he was recording this on his phone. Suddenly, David, the placard guy, attacks Rebecca with a knife, but Mateus switches places with her instead and dies. Rebecca picks the phone up to see the recording and erases it. While Megan is unhappy about Mark's decision, she steals Hannah's hair with a plan to take it to the One, hoping that if Hannah had a match, she would leave Mark alone. Kate is confused about Sophia's brother as she cannot deny her attraction to him. She asks James if it is possible for someone to have more than one match, but James disagrees. So, with the love of her life dead, Fabio gone, and David in prison and soon to be dead because she'll send someone to kill him, Rebecca is not close to getting caught anytime soon. Kate is stranded with the investigation. It ends with Rebecca at another one of those TED-esque talks saying she has a secret to tell, and this might be about having more than one match. That is all for now. What do you guys think about the ending? Will Rebecca ever be caught? Will The One be renewed for season 2? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Stay safe and see you next time.